Okay, hi, this is Ken from HProps, showing you one of my latest projects, which is to get a realistic sounding voice to my brand new Cyberman costume. And after a lot of research and a little bit of tinkering, I've been able to narrow it down to just these tiny little components. For reference here, these are 3 AA batteries, which, if I'm lucky, will power the entire setup. This here is a stereo amplifier, puts out 3 watts, runs off of 3 batteries. It's a very powerful amplifier for its size and for its power draw. And being stereo, I can actually use one channel of it to be a preamplifier for our little microphone here, and then run that output into here, which is our ring modulator. That's something I built myself, including the circuit board. Not to brag too much, just enough. That will also need a carrier wave, which is provided by a recording of a sine wave. It can be played by an MP3 player here, and I have, just for reference, the type of MP3 player that this circuit board would come out of. You can use the whole thing if you want without taking it apart. I personally wanted to use just the circuit so I could try running everything off of the same bunch of batteries. By the way, the ring modulator does not use batteries. It's a wonderful thing. It just takes the 2 inputs that you give it and puts out a third one, combination of the 2. That's a nice thing there. Output from the ring modulator, which is a combination of my voice plus the carrier signal that will be played by the MP3, get combined here, put into one output, which will then run through the second channel of the stereo amplifier, which will then run towards this nice sturdy speaker here, which coincidentally is exactly the right size to put behind a Cyberman logo that will go on the chest. Let's see how it works, or let's hear how it works. Now, for the purposes of this demonstration, we're not going to be using that little MP3 player I just showed you. We're actually going to be playing the files off of my phone. I have them stored there, so you can tell by the title which file and which frequency we're playing. So it'll help give you an idea of what frequency gives you what result. So as you can tell from the title, I was experimenting with the 180 cycle sine wave. I'm still working on the frequency. I think that's a pretty decent frequency. I have no idea what the actual frequency is that they used on the Doctor Who show. I cannot find this information anywhere on the internet. So I'm taking a guess. There's another person online who is working with 120 cycles. That didn't seem to do enough difference for me in terms of making the voice sound robotic and adding those undertones that you're supposed to hear. So 180 for me. Sine wave, I tried triangle wave, I tried square wave. They were all very harsh. The sine wave seems to be the best balance between having the effect and also still being somewhat legible. So let me press play, and we'll speak into the microphone, and you see what you think.
Upgrade is compulsory. You will be upgraded or you will be deleted. Delete.
That's 180. I found out that if you actually go with something much lower, like 20, you can get another familiar voice out of the same circuitry.
This is not war. This is pest control. Exterminate.
Sorry, I'm only going to yell up to a point in this very tiny room. But you get the idea. I chose 20 cycles as a random happy medium because the Daleks have actually used several different speeds over the years in their various appearances. Anything between 15 cycles and 30, all manner in between. So if I didn't sound like any Dalek that you've heard of, I apologize. But the theory is sound and the circuitry works.